Hello, I'm Robin Vincent and welcome to another Molten Modular DIY. Today's just a quick one. There's something that I need to do, something I need to accomplish, and so often a little DIY kit is just the ticket, and this is just the ticket. Today I'm building the Music Thing Modular startup. What is it? Well, it's a little weeny 4 HP little module that can completely sort out a little case. The first thing it has is a little mixer and headphone outputs, which is what you need if you've just got a little skiff and you don't want to have to plug it into a bigger rig. But it's also got a little bit of clocking in there. It will generate a clock to a tap tempo. It'll also divide and multiply that about. So it's a stunningly useful little thing in just 4 HP. Now what I want it for is this thing over here. I'll show you quick. See, I want it for this fella here, for my nifty case, which is what this is. I've repainted it, obviously, and given it a more gorgeous look than what it had originally. But the one major flaw of the nifty case is that it has no headphone output. No headphone output. It has a mono output, which is fine for routing it through a larger system. But what I really want to do is just take this away and sit on the floor and listen to this by itself. It has a power supply, it has other things that connect to each other. It just needs a little headphone output here. And so the startup from Music Thing Modular could perfectly sit in that space, allow me to mix a couple of other things into it perhaps. And it also has useful things like, as I say, the tap tempo and clocking bits and pieces going on. Perfect, absolutely blooming perfect for this space here. And so that's what I'm going for. Not much to it. It's just a bunch of sockets, a single knob, a button on a little PCB. All the surface mount stuff's been done for you, so this is a real quick beginner type of kit. Anyone could do it, I reckon. In fact, it doesn't even have a PCB. Look, it's so simple. There's just a faceplate in there. You can get it in black or silver. I went for black because I think that's lovely and very appropriate to my black case over there. So there must be something else in here then, mustn't there? Ah, here we go. There we go. I knew there was a PCB in there somewhere. So there. It's got a nice smiley face on it. I love it. It's got a smiley face on it as if to say, yeah, it works, which is what you need. I like that kind of thing. So yeah, it's got a whole bunch of surface mount and they're doing all the proper wizardry, and all we've really got to do is put on a couple of sockets and a knob and a button. Easy peasy. I'm not even going to do the time lapse. I'm just going to get on with it and get it done. And also, because it's Music Thing Modular, you know that the manual is going to be fantastic. It's going to be bit by bit, just taking you by the hand and letting you do it with a minimum amount of fuss and mess, and it's just all going to work. Awesome. Come and have a look. So the manual for this is on their website, and it's there. It is actually there, which is great. Gives you a little introduction into soldering, which is great. And then it shows you your PCB, points out a few things on it. Just got a few holes. This, I hope, is going to be easy. Now, it says start by soldering on the power header. Right, let's get these things out. I think there's anything else in there. Little bags of bits. Oh look, a couple of knurlies. Well, that's just fantastic. Can't argue with that. Great, so power header first, it says. Over here. So it wants to be that way round. Over there. Long pins on. Soldering this on the wrong side will ruin the build. Okay, fair enough. You need strong instruction, I think, sometimes. So in my usual ham-fisted way, how am I going to do this? I'm going to do it a bit like that. Stick that in there. Put that on there. Perfect. Bit of solder. Press it down, heat it up. Now I've taken to using a little bit more solder than I used to. I got a little bit too casual with it, and that cost me a bit of time and stress when I did the M185 recently, because I just didn't quite finish the job. So I melted my way through that foam. Perfect, perfectly done. And that's on there. It smells a bit plasticky. It's not completely flat, but you know, I'm not bothered by that. See that? Slightly wonky. That's good enough for me. Right, so I've left plastic all over me prongs here because of course they heated up and melted the plastic, didn't they? Like a dipstick. So that shouldn't be a problem, he says, having no idea whether that's going to be a problem or not. What I would say is maybe don't use that plastic thing as a thing to hold your soldering. Oh, what a great start! This is just going. It's just going beautifully. I'm in too much of a rush. That's the thing. Just need to chill out. 'Cause the problem is at the moment I've kind of got a bit of a back problem, which means I can't sit here very long. So I'm just trying to get this done nice and quick before everything falls out. Waffle. Next, right. Before soldering the rest of the parts, good time to confirm that the firmware is correctly programmed. Yeah? Shouldn't be skipped. To do this, take the power cable and affix it to the power header. Red stripe, like that, red stripe. Then plug the other end into your case power. Do not switch on the power yet. Next, locate the LED and bend the legs slightly as shown. Oh, this is very interesting. Oh, the long one, bend that a little bit. Yeah, alright. Do not solder the LED now, so it can be placed to test. Now place the longer head, the what? Now place. So I'm supposed to, what? Supposed to be plugging this in somewhere? Right. So on this side, long leg is the one that I've just bent. Goes on the square. Short leg goes in that middle round one. Like that. Alright. Oh dear. Why do I think this is a good idea? Right, yeah, okay, there. And there, right, did that. Once in place, switch on your Eurorack. The LED should start flashing, which indicates the firmware is correctly programmed. Might need to put some sideways pressure on it. Right, so if I turn this off here. Plug this into here. Right, can we still see that? Yeah, okay, good. Turn it back on. It flashed. Okay, good. We can do that and we can take that out. So once you've done that, you can take it off and now stick all the stuff on. So we're using it the other way up now. Yeah. Now, because I've got this thing here soldered on already, it's going to make putting anything else on tricky because it's going to fall over all the time. So I need a bit of support. There we go. A couple of bits of foam. But just like that is going to be useful for the minute. So it says I should add the potentiometer first. This is the potentiometer knobby thing. So it's a bit tricky to get that through apparently. Now all of these just kind of go on where you expect them to go on, where it says on the board itself. So this is volume, potentiometer is for that. It's the only knob on the board. It's got these 6 prongs on it, and that's why it's a little bit tricky to get in. Ow! That went through into my finger. Okay, so that's in. Nice. Then it says put the 3 lowest sockets on, because these are the stereo ones. Alright. Then I can do the rest of the mono jacks all the way up here. Just got to orientate them the right way round. You just have to look at the board and see where the 2 bits are together. Now when there's a few to put in, it looks like it could go any way round, but it all ends up being right. So at the moment the sticky out prong, see the sticky out prong? That is going down this end of the board. What are these 2 for? Oh, they're at that end. But as we're going up this way, let's do the 2 switches first. So these fellas here. Now it says I've got a flat edge. Yeah, a flat edge on themselves. Flat edge. And they face each other in the middle. It's marked on the board. Goes in like that. Goes in like that. Yeah, I've got this thing. I can feel it coming. Gonna have to turn this whole thing upside down in a minute. That's going to be fun. Then these last 2 go same orientation as the other ones. Get that first bit in. Here we go. Now the funny thing is that although they said put the knob in first, it kind of is going to make it more difficult to turn it upside down. But it is a tricky thing to put in, so maybe there's a certain amount of wisdom there. I don't know. Depends on what's more of a problem. I mean, I could take that off. And oh, I don't know. So at the moment we're not soldering. It says do not solder. Right. So this fella. Orientation is vital for the red LED. Yes. The longer leg must go in a positive hole. Yes, indeed. And that's... where is that? That's on the opposite side to here. It's got a little positive on it. I can just about see that. That's the longer leg. There. Okay. Once all the components are in place but not soldered, put on the front panel. Ah, this is going to be where it all pulls it together. Nice. Like it. Like it. So this goes over the top. Now, I'm pretty sure all of the nuts are still on there. So all of the black ones. Oh, this is oh, come on, hold it together. You're doing so well, doing so well. Almost lost it. That's going to go in there. Come on, don't play with me. Thank you. So all of these annoying black ones all still have their nut on. So I have to take those off because they're going to go on the top. Hello, spider. You just swinging in, are you? Come on. Go somewhere else. Now I happen to have some of these here banana nuts from Bafacco, which I have put on to my little nifty case, my repainted nifty case. Now these provide a little bit of just something, a bit of pizzazz, a bit of colour, rather than the standard silver. And I just want to check that these would fit on here, because that would be rather nice. La 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 la. Oh, just kill me now. Let me take one of these. Yeah, they would fit beautifully. So I'm going to use some of those. So solder the topmost tap divide sockets first. Then solder the green socket so the whole arrangement holds together. But before I do that, they wanted me to put this on. So let's do that. Put this over the top. Like that. And it says put on 3 or 4 of the nuts. Now I'll just put on the ones that came with it because they're just that little bit simpler. Everything's slightly hazy today. It's probably the painkillers. So I probably shouldn't be in charge of a soldering iron, I shouldn't imagine. Alright, so that's held down some sort of fashion. Held down well over there, less well over this side. Are they slightly taller? Yeah, they are. Yeah, the stereo ones have got a slightly taller screw thread. How fascinating, I hear you say. How fascinating. Gosh, tell us more, Robin. No, I'm just going to get on with it, if that's all right. I'm going to worry about the LED in a little bit. That has to not be there. That's got to come. Need that. Oh, okay, up to there a little bit. Do I want that sticking out? Do I want it flush? Probably want it flush. But I'm not going to worry about that for the minute. So I'm turning it upside down. My 2 bits of sponge are working well. That's holding everything in. Looking super. Good. Solder the tapped divide ones first. And the green sockets at the bottom. So they want us to do the 2 ends here and there. That's fine. No, it's probably not a smiley face. It's more of a kind of a... Yeah. Oh, gotta do the other end. Now, gently push the first push button into place. Don't depress the button, just push it gently so the pins come through. Oh right, because they've dropped down. Do you see? Ding, 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 ding. So push that up. Solder a corner while holding the button firmly in place. So I hold it in place and I solder. Yeah. So that's one of those. This is one of those occasions where you need one of those vices that people keep telling me about. Yeah. I get it. So instead, because I don't have a vice, I'm just going to have to improvise. Oop. By using something which is going to push up. Now it suggests you do a corner and then check that the buttons go up and down. So let's do that. Because there's a tendency to push a little bit too hard on the back of here with a soldering iron, and that could make it slightly skew-whiff. Oops, which would be no good. Seem alright to me. Once you're happy, put all 6 in. Good. Right, okay, I'm happy. Now the LED. Now it suggests using a bit of tape. Well, I've got some tape. I had some tape. Yes, tape here. Yeah, or blue tack it suggests, but I've got tape, so I'm going to use it. So what you do, if you don't want that sticking through, you kind of want it to be flush, really. That probably looks the best. So you just put a little bit of tape over the top, like so, so that when you push the LED up to it, it sticks to it and ends up being nice and flush. Like that. Beautiful. Like that. Oh, that's so lovely. Now let's cut those legs off. Mind your eyes. Nice, up on the shelf. That's where I like to store them. Now I've just got all these other bits here and the pot to solder. So let's get on with that. It's quite snug in here amongst all this surface mount. I think that's looking pretty good. Let's just try it, rather check it with my spider filled super goggles. Yeah, it's my normal level of messiness and crappiness on there, I think you can say. Good, well that's probably it. Once you're finished, check that you haven't missed a point somewhere, screw the rest of the nuts on, stick on the pot, blah de blah de blah, bish bash bosh, and you're done. So the question then becomes, what do I do red and what do I do black? I quite like the idea of doing the mono ones in the middle black and then the headphones red. That seemed like a nice idea. La, la, you have to have just extraordinary patience. Good. I've got a little tool here from Bafako which helps me tighten those up. Like so. think in some ways this is looking a little bit overkill for this tiny little 4 HP project, but hey, going with it. Then black ones. Oh, they just fit by a whisker. Right, with the pot, I appear to have a washer and a nut. I'll turn that all the way around to the left. Oh, it's got a, thankfully, it's got a little screw on it. Otherwise that was feeling pretty loose on there. So it has a little screw at the back in order to secure that. Good. So there, slightly custom music Thing Modular startup. There. Look at that, isn't it a beautiful thing? What a lovely little thing. Extraordinarily helpful little thing as well, I hope. So let's bring the thing over and let's have a look to see whether that does the job. Right, got to make some room for it. Well, not room for it exactly. Just got to find a power connector. Make sure the red stripe is going to the line here on the power, otherwise you'll blow it up. Well, it just won't work. That's the main problem with that. Should just pop into here. Now this is the thing with fixed rails. Do I leave the gap there or do I leave the gap there? Because that leaves me with one, you see. Maybe I'm going to put it one across so I've got a little gap on either side, just for now. Or I could shift everything across, but to shift everything across, you have to take everything out. So I'm going to go with that. You see the confidence with which I've just screwed the whole thing in, absolutely assuming I'm not going to have to take it out again. Right, let's turn it on. Oh, I've got some lights. Look at that, got a flashy thing. Look at that, brilliant. How useful is it to have a little clock? Anywhere having a little clock is a good thing. Really like that. So, is it making any sound? That is going to be the question. So we take an output straight from the oscillator. Plug that in. Oh yeah. Now the great thing about this little mixer that I completely forgot to mention was that it's set to 3 different levels. So rather than having pot controls over the level of individual channels, you have a loud input, a medium input and a quiet input. Although I think mine are upside down. So the loud inputs, so for a loud signal, you would expect them to be the quietest. But then, if I go into the next 2, they seem quieter. And the bottom 2 are definitely going to take the quietest input. Oh no, hang on. Oh, right. So let me get this completely straight. So I've just got a sawtooth output from there. Loud input mono right. Loud input left. Okay, so only coming out of the left speaker. Mono in the middle. Medium. Mono right. Left. Maybe that's what I was hearing different. Loud. Medium. Quiet. There we go. Got a line input over here, which is going to be louder. And the other one's a stereo. So I've got 3 mono channels down the right hand side. I can turn that into stereo channels using the other side, and I've got a stereo input there for line level. So that's interesting. So if I was to bring in a little something that I've been sequencing from here, sequencer out. So something like the Korg NTS1 can go straight into a stereo input. How helpful is that? How useful is that? So let's then use the clock here. So we have a tap clock. I plug that into the clock on the sequencer. So I can use a tap tempo here just to speed up and slow it down. I don't have a tap tempo anywhere else in my rack. It's such a useful thing. And instead I can use the divide and multiply output to speed it up and slow it down relative to that tapped tempo. So with a quick press it will speed up. It's now the same as the tap tempo. Hold it, it goes back the other way. So in my little scenario here, I could join in the NTS1 with an output from my other oscillator. Maybe plug that in there. Maybe take a second output from the sequencer. So there you have it, the Music Thing Modular Startup. Simple little thing, blindingly useful. Drop it in your rack, gives you 2 headphone outs, a bit of mixing, really useful, simple mixing that lets you bring in little external boxes as well. What a brilliant thing. Perfect for the nifty case, totally perfect for it. Or you've got some other skiff like a row of that kind of stuff, you know, whatever you've got, it just drops in a headphone socket without it being a big module with lots of stuff going on, sends and returns and crossfades and other bits and pieces. Just something simple and usable. And having a little tap tempo in there is just completely genius. It's useful all the time, in many places, always. So there you go. That is the Music Thing Modular startup. I hope that's useful. It's the sort of project anyone could have a go at. It's simple, really easy, really easy. You can get it from thonk.co.uk. Give it a go. Easy, useful, fabulous. And in the meantime, go and make some tunes.